just one of those mornings where I didn't want to get out of bed. Let's bake something yummy for breakfast.
I could sit around and wait all day. You lay easy on my mind. Like a candle I just burn away.
Ta-da! Some cinnamon sugar donut. Let's give one a try. It's pretty good. That would be really good dipped in coffee.
I don't wanna waste it on anybody. Take it with anybody but you. I don't wanna waste it on anybody.
Hello! Welcome back to another vlog. If you're new here, thanks for joining. My name is Sarah. I am a PhD student studying rhetoric and composition, finishing up my dissertation, getting ready to go on the job market, and I would love if you subscribed and followed along with my journey. So today is Sunday, and I like to take one day off during the week, typically like Wednesdays or Thursdays, so then I only take a one-day weekend, which is what's been working for me lately. So yesterday was my day off for the weekend, so today I'm trying to get some work done. To be completely honest, I am like using every single ounce of willpower I have, and the only way I'm gonna get something done is if I leave the house. The weather is beautiful today. I want to sit outside. I think I'm gonna get some lunch at Feta and do a little work.
I don't wanna waste it on anybody. Take it with anybody but you.
It is almost 3 o'clock now. I'm back home. I got a coffee, but for some reason I just like didn't drink much of it, so I'm still sipping on it, but I'm feeling a nap coming on. I just cannot fight it. When 3 p.m. hits, I simply must take a nap. So I'm gonna read my book and probably only make it through like 3 pages before I take a nice little Sunday afternoon nap.
Seeking you will find. There is nothing in you that is fading. All you ever do is shine.
Okay, quite a bit later now. It's like a little after 6:30. I didn't end up taking a nap, believe it or not. My sister called me, we chatted. I tried to get something very exciting set up, but I realized I'm gonna need Zach's help for that. It's a standing desk, and I don't want to mess it up because like technology is involved, and I'm just like really bad at building things myself. But this is the book that I've been reading. It's really, really good so far. I am on page like 90, I think, but I'm loving it. But it feels really heavy. It kind of reminds me of like This Is Us in a way. After I never finished that series. I keep telling myself I'll go back and finish it, but I don't know. After I would finish an episode, I would just be like, I am going to bring the rest of my leftover feta to Zach's house, eat some dinner with him, and probably find like a good show or good movie to watch, and then get to doing some serious work in the morning. What I did today was focusing on work for a publication I'm working on and just making minor tweaks to some job apps. So tomorrow's going to be a big, big, big dissertation day. Hello, happy Monday. It's already 1:20 p.m. This morning I woke up and said we are getting after it and we're gonna get some dis writing done. It was a slow start. I got to the library. I had to just like settle in. I read a chapter of my book for fun for a little bit, just enjoyed the sunshine. And then I read 2 articles and wrote 640 words. So that's exciting. Wasn't necessarily what I needed to write about or what I thought I was gonna write about, but I'm happy with it. It definitely fits into the chapter. It is an article I've been meaning to read for a while. It's from John Gallagher about how to conduct case study research, specifically internet case study research. And I'm still not sure if what I'm doing constitutes as case study research because I'm not using like mixed methods approaches. I'm just doing rhetorical analysis, but I'm saying that I'm taking a case study approach. So that's one way that I'm trying to distinguish it. And John Gallagher's whole point was just basically like make sure that you're explicitly articulating everything that you're doing, all the choices that you're making and stuff like that. So as well as like considering ethical ramifications of them. And one of them was like, just because something is public on the internet doesn't mean that you should write about it. Like you can, but should you? And it was like dissertations are made public and that increases searchability of things. So if someone has like a small little personal blog, do they want high traffic potentially coming, even though no one reads a dissertation? And the other article I read was sort of about that same thing, how to do like feminist, ethically sound research in digital spaces. And it made me feel good with my choice to analyze YouTube videos because all 4 people who I am analyzing as my case studies all explicitly do want high traffic. They celebrate when they reach new subscriber milestones. They also always welcome new viewers, encourage them to subscribe. So I'm not too worried about that. But it did make me realize that I don't think I'm gonna put the names of the commenters. I think I'm just gonna say a comment says blank. And it also left me with some questions about the Reddit threads that I'm bringing in. So one of the Reddit threads that I'm analyzing is a snark thread. It's GOTG snark, Gals with the Go snark. And it's not a nice Reddit thread. I mean, it's snarky. They're there to hate on Brooke and Danielle, the 2 hosts of the Gals on the Go podcast. So I don't know, that might be something I talk with my advisor about. Like, that's already a pretty popular Reddit thread with like thousands of subscribers. Is my dissertation going to increase the searchability of that, you know? So maybe ways to strategically navigate that. But yeah, just a morning thinking about ethics of digital research, making me wish I had more classes or a class in methodology. Anyway, like I said, after 1:20, so I gotta go home and eat some lunch. Quick little lunch of some frozen Trader Joe's stuff, fried rice, some edamame, these little veggie dumplings, and I think I'm gonna watch a vlog. A little after 3, I grabbed my purse. This is one of my favorite thrift finds ever. It's Kate Spade, but it's like that nylon material. And I'm gonna go to Kroger to get some stuff for dinner for the next couple days. Time for a little grocery haul. We're gonna do 3 meals this week. Nachos, hence the cheese, a zucchini stir fry, and then our good old chickpea salad sandwiches. So I got some Greek yogurt because I'm also gonna make some banana bread this week. That's Zach's absolute favorite dessert, and Greek yogurt or sour cream goes in it. Eggs, chickpeas, veggie broth, these chipotle peppers and adobo sauce that goes in like the tofu that we put on our nachos. This is sourdough bread from the bakery. It's super yummy. Chips, and then just some produce, onions, a tomato, a shallot. And I'm really excited about these 2 pumpkin things. I don't think I've ever tried this creamer before, but it spoke to me and it was on sale. And these cinnamon rolls I've had before, they're delish. Tofu, celery. I only need a 4th cup of celery, so this was like overkill, but this was all they had. And this whole bunch was like 89 cents, so it's fine. Green onions, 2 zucchinis, some romaine lettuce, and some peppers. And then I have been in like a blue Powerade Gatorade kick lately, so this was like $3 off, and then some sparkling water or seltzer for Megan. Okay, it is a bit later now. I took a nice shower, washed my hair, did a little shark air wrap moment, and I have therapy in like 3 minutes on Zoom. So I'm gonna do that and then probably just eat dinner after. I ate like a little snack of like cheese and crackers like 10 minutes ago. I'm not hungry for some reason. So I was like, I don't really feel like making dinner. I don't feel like forcing myself to eat something if I'm not hungry. But I'm sure it will be in like an hour or an hour and a half. I am about to put on some PJs and go to bed. Megan and I watched, well, she started without me yesterday, but then I watched the next 2 episodes today of Love is Blind UK. It is so good. I mean, I love Love is Blind, so it's basically like the same exact thing. Like the women's and men's living quarters look exactly the same, just with accents is how she described it. Looks like there's gonna be a lot of drama unfolding on Wednesday's batch of episodes, so I'm hooked. And I'm like, do I need to go back and watch like the first 2 episodes if I'm like meeting in the pods, even though I know who like the couples are already? I don't know. If you're watching Love is Blind UK, let me know. But I'm going to read my book, go to bed, and do it all over again tomorrow. Just one of those days where we're starting it off with a second cup of coffee, but we're doing iced this time. I tried this pumpkin creamer and the hot coffee and it was very good, so I put it in the iced coffee and I'm gonna put some of this pumpkin pie spice on top. It's also just one of those days where I am taking a slow morning because I need a slow morning. I set my alarm for 8 and did not get out of bed until 9, and it's now 10:30. I've just been sitting on the couch. I watched a vlog. I'm reading this book. It's so good. And I'll do disc work. I will get started in a little bit. I don't know. I didn't want to jump into it first thing this morning. I talked a lot about the dissertation in therapy yesterday. Normally I don't talk about school and therapy. I just talk about literally everything else. And so yesterday I just was like talking about how I'm feeling like so much of my evaluation of like how my days are going or like my mood is dependent on like how much progress I made in the disc. And I just told her that like I'm worried that like the math isn't adding up with how much I have left to do when I'm supposed to graduate. And she was helpful in helping me sort of try and like reframe what progress looks like. And it's all just like so meta because like I write about embodied writing and I know that like writing is not just like words on a page. It's like the time spent driving over to the library, the time spent fueling your body, the time spent thinking, reading, talking about the work, vlogging. So I don't know, it's hard to like know those things and like believe those things. It's like there's often a disconnect for me there. So I'm just trying to take some time this morning to do things that make me happy outside of school. And I'm trying in this vlog and like on this channel in general to like show more of my life outside of like just being a PhD student. That's obviously like the main focus of this channel. That's like the main focus of my life right now. That's how I've branded myself as like a grad student. But that's really hard when I feel like I'm struggling a little bit and I'm like, I don't want to be doing this, to know like that's how I've made like my single identity. So not to be dramatic, but just taking some time, enjoying my coffee, reading a book, have some jazz music playing on the TV. Little break from reading for some breakfast, toast, boiled eggs. And you guys, I can't stop. It's so good. Okay, I told myself I'd give myself till noon. And I had to force myself to put this book down. I'm like reading it so slowly and moving through it so slowly because like I don't want it to end. Yeah, like I'm halfway through and I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm like so attached to these characters. I know I'm gonna have like the biggest book hangover. Anyway, I'm gonna shower, put on some light makeup, make myself feel put together, and then sit at my desk and I'm gonna do some work. Okay, worked for like, I don't even know how long, an hour and a half? And it was just one of those days where progress needs to be measured in thinking. I'm just like running into a wall a little bit where I sort of am like, okay, here's all these claims. Now, like, so what is like the phrase we're taught to teach our students to get them to like work towards analysis. Like, you make a claim or like you state a fact, then you say, so what? Why is it significant? So I've pointed out this interesting phenomenon that I've noticed happening in the comment section on particularly vulnerable disclosure videos. So I'm using Catherine Banning as a case study, and there's one video where she is like reflecting on finding out that she was cheated on by her husband, her ex-husband. And it's like really vulnerable. She's showing like the real footage, and then she's using the picture-in-picture effect to like reflect on that footage. And so we see like two opposite ends of the spectrum, like the older footage where she's like sobbing and like berating herself, saying that she should have known better, and then like the picture-in-picture footage where she's like, you know, I am so proud of myself, I've come so far. And it's a very emotional experience watching it. And then when you go to the comments, they are just all engaging in what Amy Morrison calls like mutual self-disclosure, or like reciprocal acts of self-disclosure, where people are like saying much more than just like girl same. People are like sharing full life stories, paragraphs of comments about how their husband of 35 years cheated on them in like this public place of YouTube. And so I'm like, isn't this interesting? This is wild that this phenomenon is happening. But I need to link it back to what this tells us about embodied hyper-awareness. And all that I can think to say is seeing someone else demonstrate embodied hyper-awareness sort of prompts us to demonstrate it ourselves. It's like the more I think and talk about my body in certain ways to you all as my YouTube viewers, I would imagine that that prompts you to think and talk about your bodies as well. And I'm like, okay, but like, what do we do with that? That doesn't feel like I'm pushing that claim for far enough. I could like ask so what again, and I'm like, why is that significant? That it's illuminating a core function, or like telling us something about the way this phenomenon functions, that seeing others do it makes us do it too. And I'm like, do I link it back to teaching to explain its significance? And I was just like brainstorming, trying to come up with like multiple possibilities, but I'm just like stuck. I don't know why that matters, other than like it's really interesting. So one thing I said is like it can offer us a new way to think about teaching. And so like the word that I was just going back to was like, it is like contagious. We see someone else do it, then like we're prompted to do it, especially when they're like very vulnerable, or like when negative affect is involved. And so I wrote like seeing others demonstrate it makes us demonstrate it too. So maybe it's not just making vlogs that cultivates embodied hyper-awareness, but maybe it's watching vlogs with embodied hyper-awareness that cultivates it too. But then I just feel like I'm going down like this entirely other dissertation, and this chapter is already just becoming so long. It's like double the length of what it needs to be. Things are getting unwieldy. But I know I need to have this section where I like analyze how the video is socially circulating, where I look at ancillary text of like Reddit threads, and I look at the comments and what is being revealed to me. And this is like the major thing that's being revealed, is that it's prompting reciprocal acts of self-disclosure. I don't know how to tie it all back together, and I don't know what to do with it. I kind of just want to say that in the dissertation, like, here's this. I don't know what to do with it. And I really want writing to function linearly, and I really just want this chapter to be done so I could go to the next one. But I might not be able to answer that question until I write the next chapter. So maybe it just has to end on a ... But when I think about the next chapter, which is when I'm like theorizing why embodied hyper-awareness happens in vlogs, because right now I'm just like pointing out instances where we can see that it's happening. I'm pointing out moments of self-disclosure and self-censorship that signal us to the fact that there is like this a priori embodied hyper-awareness that's happening. They must have been hyper-aware of their bodies in order to disclose that information or censor that information. So now in the next chapter I need to theorize why vlogging in particular makes that happen, and I need to get into like defamiliarization and like just author audience connection, and I feel like I need to do a lot more research, honestly. So part of me is like, I don't want to finish this chapter and move on to the next one because the next chapter makes me want to throw up. So I don't know, I just feel like my brain is working in overdrive all the time, and I wish that my dissertation was a little more formulaic, where I conduct a study, I tell you my methodology, I report the results, I give you a little discussion on the findings. Not that that's easy, because I know like that's how like STEM fields and like psychology fields and stuff like that work, and they bring on challenges of their own. But having so much freedom and just like having a theory-based dissertation where you're just like throwing ideas at a wall saying isn't that cool is like kind of insane, because like where do you draw the line? Okay, took a little break, we'll try to, and watched the beginning of Owning Manhattan, and I just like couldn't even concentrate because I just simply could not stop thinking. And I just opened up my notes app and just like jotted some ideas down, and I don't know if I have an answer yet, but I can't shut my brain off. And this is where I'm reminded that like even if I'm only sitting down at my desk working for like 2 hours a day, my brain is constantly thinking, and it's a lot. I just wish I had answers, and I wish I had more to show for this. But I'm going to bake some banana bread and listen to an audiobook in hopes of that like taking up my brain so I can just like let things rest. Good morning, happy Wednesday. I am wearing a very appropriate shirt. I cry a lot, but I'm so productive. Zach got me this, which just like, that's how you know he's the best and he gets it. But I'm about to go to a coffee shop with Joanna to do some work on my diss, and I think she's studying for her Spanish language exam. Fun fact, to get a PhD, at least at IU, and I think in a lot of programs, you have to demonstrate fluency or reading knowledge at some places in 1, sometimes 2 languages. So I tested out of this by taking a Spanish test a few years ago because I took a lot of Spanish in college, but it's not an easy exam, so people study for quite a bit of time. Anyway, I'm going to pack her up some of that banana bread that I made yesterday and head over there. Yum. If you don't put chocolate chips in your banana bread, you're wrong. 2:10, back home, eating a little lunch. This is our chickpea salad. Just have it on like an open face sandwich and some strawberries. Despite being at that coffee shop for like 3 hours, I don't think I got much done. It's one of those days. I feel like I've said that phrase so many times in this vlog. It's one of those days. But it was one of those days where Joanna and I were just like chatting for like half the time. But I did do quite a bit of reading, and the reading was really good and I felt like really helpful. So I think I'm going to continue doing some of that for the rest of the day.